Hey guys, welcome to episode 7 of the Blank Canvas podcast.
Lucky number 11.
Yes, baby.
Mm-hmm. What?
I blocked.
No, you gotta continue. There's no recutting. Continue.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Jennifer Noir.
And I'm Mina West.
And thank you so much for tuning in. This is a podcast led by two creatives who promise to just have loads of fun and be honest and real about our...
Yeah, baby.
I keep bluffing about our experiences.
I'm gonna
so
do funny
far.
faces so you blurt, ball.
Oh, gosh. So we like to start with an icebreaker game. So because it's Valentine's Day, very, very soon, today's game, we're going to ask each other, what's your most romantic date?
Aww.
Mina?
Oh, I'm starting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've got like two very different types of dates. So I think was just the sentiment behind it was so romantic. Okay. So this was the first date with a guy, and it was taking us a while to kind of catch up because I'd been so busy with work and all that kind of stuff. So he just said, I'm going to surprise and take you somewhere. And I was like, don't know where he's taking me. And he took me to sound meditation, which I thought was really random and different. But he was like, because you're always busy, I thought something that we can actually meditate and be still. And I was like, wow, this is really lit. And for me, it was romantic because of the sentiment behind that. That I could rest, and I literally fell asleep in sound meditation. I was like, that's a bit weird on the first date to sleep. But then we went out for a meal afterwards. But it's just because I didn't know what to expect. And another thing which I thought was really romantic, for Valentine's Day, a guy took me to watch Lion King. I love productions, I love theatre so much. So yeah, took me to watch Lion King, and we had really good seats, and it was really nice of him to do that.
That's really nice. Wait, just back to sound meditation. What does that involve?
Exactly. Well, basically, it's like you're resting on this mat, and this yoga type woman, she's just doing like different sounds with these like small drums, like So you're just listening to it, and it just meant to soothe and relax you and work with the vibrations of sound to calm you. And she's like, I feel like you're not calm. And I'm like, honey, I'm asleep. And like, I think there's a whole hour of that. I mean, I wouldn't advise that for every single date, because for a first date, you're spending an hour not talking to each other. You're just kind of like resting. So I do think it's a bit of a random first date. I'm not saying guys go...
Oh, it was your first date?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a random first date. But we went out for a meal afterwards, and we got to talk loads then. But I was legit really tired. Like, I was so tired. Like, I did want to see this guy, but we couldn't figure out a date. And first date, he actually allowed me to rest, and I thought that was quite caring.
That's quite nice.
Yeah, I thought that was quite nice.
That is nice. Okay, my most romantic date was actually last year, April. I met this guy.
Yeah.
It was weird because he just put the ball in my court. He was like, what do you want to do?
Aww.
I was like, okay, why don't we go to like a gallery? So we went to Tate Modern.
I love Tate Modern. We should go there again soon, actually.
Yeah, maybe we should go. Yeah.
Let's do it.
So we just went around taking in all the art. Every time I go to a gallery with someone, I like to like stand in front of like paintings and pictures and be like, what do you see? And I see what I see. It's good because it kind of shows where each other's mind is at. It's really nice. I love doing that. So we did that. Then we went to eat. What's that restaurant called? It's near Tate, Oxbow, Bankside. Really nice. Had steak, ate loads of food, spoke a lot, laughed a lot. And then we went for a walk after dinner. We went along Bankside again. I don't know why. When I see like the sea or the waves, it's so calming for me. There's something it does.
And the waves, like, and the wind
crashing and stuff.
You.
So we just stood to take it all in, and then we just it's so corny. We started kissing.
Oh yeah, baby.
Baby. It's so corny that
it's so romantic because it's like the setting and everything, and then you've done this gallery, you've done the nice meal, you've done the romantic walk down the pier type thing.
I love that. I think one thing I now know is I like a bit of nature in my dates for it to be really romantic. Not grass though, but yeah, nature.
I do like that river Bankside walking there. I do whenever I'm near there.
So nice.
It is really nice.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tips for you guys.
Some tips, baby.
All right, so the next segment of our pod is called The Exhibit, and this is where we kind of just give a lovely shout out to really cool creatives that kind of caught our attention and kind of inspired us in whichever way. So this week, mine goes out to Virgil Abloh. I'm sure you know who he is.
I feel like the name sounds
okay,
familiar.
That's fine. So he started a brand called... I can't believe this is my first fashion exhibit. He started a brand called Off-White.
Oh yeah, I've heard
You must
that.
have heard those, yeah. And then he then last year was got a job as the creative director for menswear and Louis Vuitton, which
Okay.
is a huge thing for a black man to have a seat. He's a black man. He's Ghanaian, to have a seat at that table.
I've definitely heard of him.
Yeah, he's literally
I've definitely heard of
breaking
him.
walls right now, and it's amazing. What I love the most about him is the fact that he is not limited in his art, and I really connect with that because I'm not limited in my art, and I always feel like when you're somebody who likes to do multiple things, I feel like, you know, am I crazy wanting to write and blog and vlog and design and this and that? Like, am I headless chicken? But he shows you can do it all and be successful in it all. So he has a background...
And podcasts.
And podcasts as well, of course, yes. So he has a background in engineering, and it was something else as well. Yeah, so he did his undergrad in engineering, then his master's in architecture.
Okay.
And then fast forward, he started a brand. It did really well. Then he started a proper brand, Off-White, which did really well. And then he got into Louis Vuitton. And he's just doing so great. He's doing amazing things. He's also a DJ on the side. He creative directs loads. Watch the Throne, I think he creative directed that. And also did their album art. I'm not sure.
Kanye West,
yeah, he works with Kanye West a lot. Kanye West was basically his bring-in. And that really...
It looks like that's how I know him, because he works with Kanye West. That's random, but
but that's how it works.
Yeah.
It is nepotism.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's just... I love him. He's amazing. So inspirational. I watched his interview with Naomi Campbell. So good.
Oh, I think I saw a clip about that on social. I need to watch it.
Really good. What's your exhibit for the week?
My exhibit for the week, following you doing one for fashion, I'm doing one for poetry. I've been trying to write a lot more recently, so I've been looking up at poets a lot. One of something that's really inspirational for me is the people seeing poets, and two heavyweights in the game, Ezekiel and Preston. They did a poem. They called it "We Need to Talk," and I love joint poetry because you get two very distinctive styles and bringing themselves together and bringing themselves through words, which I think is beautiful. And it was basically talking about relationships, and maybe I was really into, like, it was like guy cave in conversation and just kind of mixing things up with the words from, like, we need to talk. When a woman says that, what do you mean? My woman's like this, my woman's like that. And they're talking about conversation in a creative way, poetic way, very, very, very eye-catching, very, very, like, stimulating for my mind. So yeah, that's why I'm giving them my exhibit post.
So we have a little bit of a present for you guys this episode.
Yeah.
We're doing a giveaway, our first giveaway.
Our first giveaway, people.
So what are we giving, Mina?
So what we're going to give away is, 2 tickets to cinema. It will be only Cineworld cinemas that you can use any given time within the year. Trust me, the amount of movies coming out this year.
Man.
The amount of movies coming out this year. Alita Battlefield's about to come out. If you guys are an Avengers fan, then they got Captain Marvel and all that kind of crap. Lion King. The list goes on.
Oh my gosh, Lion King.
Lion King. The list goes on. So definitely it's going to be a hot tamale prize. You know you're going to be hitting the cinema this year regardless. So definitely if you want it, there's only one simple thing you need to do.
Yeah. All you have to do is leave us a review either on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to us from.
Yeah. And
take a screenshot of it and email it to theblankcanvaspod@gmail.com, and we will announce the winner on the 19th of February. So, Valentine's Day is around the corner. That video has resurfaced.
Which video?
That Mr. Kokoyao.
About a month ago, I shot my shot and you ignored. Now Valentine is coming. Where is your boyfriend? You are sitting at home, lonely.
He's hilarious. But yeah, it kind of, every year on Valentine's Day, I start thinking, I reflect back.
Yeah.
Like, I've had really good Valentine's Days. I've had really bad ones as well. Ups and downs. Have you had some?
I think I've had Valentine's Day more than good ones. Yeah. I mean, it's okay.
That's good though. You can't complain if you haven't had bad ones.
I mean, the one time I went to go see Lion King was on a Valentine's Day, so that was a nice one. That was a nice thing to do Valentine's Day, but majority of the time, yeah, it's a nice reminder that I'm single, but it's okay. So I've got used to it. I've been quite lucky. My mum's birthday's on the 15th of Feb, so I kind of think about my mum. And then back when I was younger, a good friend at the time, birthday was on the 14th, so Valentine's Day was always her birthday. But when God willingly brings me somebody, I'll have a really nice Valentine's Day as well.
So you haven't had any downs, any terrible...
I have... we're going to go into the downs?
Yeah, let's go into the downs.
again, like I said, like when you're single, it's a huge reminder that you're single, and it is everywhere. And because I do marketing as well, so it's another opportunity for commercialized opportunity to be like, oh, it's Valentine's Day, so what campaign are we doing to promote so and so? Because another way for us to shout and get our product out there to people. So it is around you a lot. I think that's the major down, but I'm used to it. But then there's also downs when you are in a relationship, I think, as well.
Well, me personally,
Yeah.
So the guy that I was dating, remember the one I told you that had a baby mum?
Mm-hmm.
So Valentine's Day had come up,
Yeah.
and he went ghost.
Hey.
This is before anything. This is why we were still good. As in the clock strikes 12.
Yeah.
14th of Feb. This guy was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And I was like, where is he?
Nah.
And it got to the point where it was late at night, and I was in bed crying. I was so upset. I hadn't heard from him. And he texted me at like 1 or 2 a.m. being like, Happy Valentine's Day. I was like, oh my gosh. I am the side chick. I must be. But yeah, accidental side chick. That's my worst Valentine's Day.
So that's one thing that's nice about Valentine's Day. If you're like that soft bit around seeing somebody, it's going to be very telling.
It's a defining moment.
So like, say if I'm seeing somebody now, yeah, and Valentine's Day is coming up, I'm there thinking like, what are they going to plan? Because like,
True.
Am I the one or am I the side one?
Very
it's
true.
very telling. And one thing I don't like about Valentine's Day is those people who go, oh, it's a commercial holiday. You should show your love 365 times in the year. And I'm like, and I'm always even single that period. I'm like, but dude, when I'm in a relationship, do better do something for Valentine's Day. Like, fact.
I don't think it is a commercial holiday, but I do believe it is a day to celebrate your love interest.
Yeah. It's love. So
I don't know if it's general love.
Yeah.
Because then we have the Galentine's Day.
Oh, yeah. Galentine's Day, I think it's cutesy. Nothing special, but I think it's cutesy. Like, they told me having a day to celebrate my friends. Me and my friends buying each other presents.
It's just weird, though. But you don't get guys doing Valentine's Day. So why are we doing this?
But they have bromance.
What's bromance? Is bromance scheduled to a day of the year?
No, but I'm sure the world will do it soon.
No, I don't think so. For me personally, when it comes to Valentine's Day... Okay, I'm single this year. It's just a day. Like, if you're single, I'll use myself as the example. I'm single, so it's just a normal day. It's kind of nice because I still get to see the love in the air. I love that when I get on the tube, I see loads of guys with flowers. It's so cute.
Sometimes it's like such a huge realize I'm single.
And then like, Instagram, stories are going to be crazy.
Stories are going to be crazy. Or whenever you're physically at work and then somebody gets roses sent to their like office, I'll just be like, oh, that's so nice. Although you get sometimes at work, you get a girl who's always complaining that her boyfriend doesn't do this, her boyfriend doesn't do that. Valentine's Day come, he still hasn't done anything, and I'm like, now I have to hear you complain about your boyfriend anymore. Girl, send yourself flowers. One thing though is that Valentine's Day, when I am seeing someone, which is few and far between, I don't know what to get them, and then I feel pressured. I'm like,
but get them. It has to be like.
I'm like, I don't know what to get them.
Like what you said before with your date to the was it musical meditation? Sound meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
So for example, one of my exes, he just bought a flat and he just moved into it. So I did a self-portrait of him, of course, a painting of him for him to put up in his flat, and he really liked it. And then you also have to do the mandatory sexy lingerie as well.
That's if you're having sex.
Oh dear, I forgot about that.
No, I've had sex, so I definitely would make sure.
Oh my gosh, so what would happen then in a relationship where you're not having sex?
We wouldn't have sex.
How does it work?
We go and enjoy each other's time.
So you go on a date.
Enjoy each other's time, baby kiss and all that stuff.
Get excited.
And then you go home.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm still learning about celibacy because it's like,
you.
I don't think I've had a successful relationship in celibacy, but just because it's Valentine's Day, I'm not going to give up the goods.
It's annoying because my
give
favourite
me their
part...
rings.
My favourite part is the lingerie. I like to get something that...
Yeah.
You see, with the lingerie, I feel like you have to strike the right balance between something that looks nice and something that's not... Because it's going to get ripped up and thrown to the side. So there's no point buying something... No, honestly, no point buying something super expensive.
No, so it's not going to get ripped. When I was having sex and I had nice lingerie, my stuff wasn't going to get ripped up.
All of mine got ripped up.
Girl, you have some good sex, bruv. Nah, me, I'm just there like, hey.
They don't even take it off. They rip it off you. You're like, what the hell?
But sometimes I like you still wearing it. Like, the underwear come off still, but like, if you've got a certain type of bra that's like a bit corset-y,
yeah.
Like, looking.
I'm really into one pieces though, so maybe that's why it gets ripped off.
I really can't wait to be into one pieces. So basically, when I was having sex, I liked going to buy lingerie and stuff like that. But then I kind of like stopped because I was thinking like, I don't think lingerie is expensive. And I was like, it's only me seeing it. But that's when, you know how I always talk about getting bikini waxes? Because nobody was seeing something, I became lazy in that. And I thought, it's actually quite nice to still feel sexy underneath. But when it comes to lingerie, my lingerie game, oh wow, I'm being really open. My lingerie game, I've got all my basics all covered and stuff like that. But I kind of like, I always kind of connect it to sex. So unless I'm buying my friend like hen do stuff, I kind of like avoid that area because I've got enough. Because I have, so when I was having sex, I have so many like French knickers, thongs, and like corset-y type stuff, and I'm like, well, no one's seeing it. So as long as I've got the comfortable bra that I can wear to like,
this is
with
true.
you know that t-shirt bra that you need, so you're like,
you know that one bra.
That's the bras I have now. It's like my t-shirt bra is like, it's good, it's smooth. I've got one bra that's like lime green. I'm like, it doesn't even look sexy to anybody but me because it just does what it needs to do.
I love all that stuff. I can't wait to do that again. That's one part of a relationship I look forward to. I really love shopping for lingerie. I love surprising them with it as well when they don't expect it.
Like
it's
when,
so fun.
oh gosh, actually, this is back at uni actually. I don't know why I thought I could do this, and I fully did it
at uni.
What did I do at uni? So you know those thigh high boots? Like I think Beyonce had what song was it? I can't remember.
Green light.
Maybe it was, I can't remember what song it was. Thigh high boots. Yeah. I had like a long trench coat. To be fair, I wore the thigh high boots, and I did wear like a small like dress over it, so I wasn't completely naked in the top, but there was nice lingerie, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come round.
Did you wear a coat on top and come to his house? You see that?
I just thought I was in a movie, you know, where like man had his own place. Remember second year when everyone has their own place, and it was around like, man's about to get something. But
that's young as well. You were really on it.
God saved me. That's what I'm gonna say. God saved me.
So funny.
That's what I'm gonna say. But I can't wait to be like freaky deaky again. Because I'm not, even from me choosing to be celibate, there has been times where I've fallen. So I'm not saying that I've been the best girl out here, but I haven't had sex happily since, if that makes sense. Like I haven't wanted to have sex with a guy. Well, obviously, not a guy's forced me or nothing, but I can't wait to freely like be free and naked and buy lingerie and I don't have that mentality when I go in, because if I have had sex, it wasn't because it wasn't planned. So
I hear what you mean. But that being said as well, I can't wait to have sex and it's not fornication and it's completely like, legal's not the word. What's the word I'm looking for? Or it's just not a sin with my husband. Because I feel like, I don't know.
The next time I'm gonna have sex.
Yeah, because I went to a convent, so it's always been in my head. Sex is bad. Sex is bad. Sex is bad.
Went to a what?
A convent high school. A girls' Catholic school.
So
it's always in my head like sex is bad, sex is bad. So even when I do fornicate, air marks, I've always got it in my head that it's bad, and I feel like that is just such a guilt and shame to hold for me personally. So I can't wait to like not feel that actually.
You know what I was thinking of? Don't mind me, because we don't talk about husband, but you know Jeannie Maya, and she what's it called, brought up that she's dating that guy Jeezy, and then I think Adrian must ask her like, oh, so you waiting to like get married like you did with like her husband, because she did it with her husband. This is what Jeannie Maya said. Yeah, she was like, I'm in a different place in my life right now, and I feel like God like will bless the situation I'm in, and like if it feels right. Like, she's basically going around the world because she always talked about when before her husband she said celibate, because they're all like, because obviously Tamara is and Adrian decided with her new man. One time when Jeannie was talking, I was like, girl, if you want to get your freak on, you can get your freak on. I don't know why you're.
But you
like,
feel bad, like
I don't know. Man, she's like 40. I was like, do what you want, though. Because and she always talks about pre-Jesus Jeannie. I was like, it was just funny because the way Adrian was asking her, because obviously it went news got out that she's dating that rapper. I was like, who's dating that rapper? Girl, you ain't closing your legs for nobody. Let's be honest, but it's alright.
It's a hard one. I kind of understand where she's coming from, because again, even with me, like as a Christian, fornication is wrong. We're very aware of this. But also, I can't deny the fact that I'm a sexual being, and that is something I like to do. So it's like finding the right. That's why I just say I can't wait to be married, because right now
would you ever have a phase where you decide to be celibate then?
I mean, I said I've tried, and every time I tried, it was like. Well, the thing is, where are you going to find a guy that's going to like, you know...
They exist.
Do they?
Yeah, they 100%. They 100% exist. We're talking about celibacy right now. I've tried and I failed as well, so hands up. But for my personal journey, God's convicted me so hard, because there's some people who are bounded by the spirit of like lust and sexual desires and all that kind of stuff, and it puts them in a really horrible,
so true,
horrible cycle. And I feel those evil spirits have put me in a horrible cycle that has never ever produced fruit for me. It's never ever produced healthy fruit for me. So God convicted me hard in this area, because even my cousin was telling me about this. There's actually some girls who can have sex before marriage and be fine and it's all okay and all that kind of stuff. But I have like a spirit over me that's saying that this is something that you cannot play in. I come from a family of divorce and stuff like that, and it's like, and also other families around me, and it's like, you cannot let the spirit of lust hold on you anymore, and the man that will love you will respect it. So I pray about it a lot. I now, whenever I have the spirit of like, lustful thoughts or kind of think something more, I'm like, God, please just take that away from me, because I'm of flesh as well. And then I think when it comes to laundry and stuff like that, I actively don't like look into it too much, because I'll be feeling myself, you know. I'll be like, when I'm feeling myself, somebody gotta see it, you know. So I'm actively trying. So yeah. And the way I try sometimes is to not even like care. Now recently it's like not even to care about relationships. It's like, okay, let me just put myself more into like God's word or do more things in God's house, just because I like sex and not having it isn't easy. So yeah.
I don't know, maybe like a short engagement.
Yeah.
And get married quickly.
I know. My friends, like, to be fair as well, yeah, most of my friends who have got married have decided to be celibate. And I think the ring just comes quicker sometimes. I'm just saying.
You might be onto something.
Yeah,
you know?
the ring just comes quicker because the guy's just like, okay, we should.
I mean, I will try it because.
Whether you personally feel convicted.
No, I hear you.
It's different for each person.
Yeah, when I am fornicating, like we say, I keep saying fornicate, but that's what it is. I feel like when I'm praying, I don't have to explain that, I can't look God in the eye. There's this shame over my shoulder. I can't really pray the way I did before. And it's so nice to know now that when I'm connected with God, it's fully connected. Like, there's no huge shame hanging over my shoulder.
Yeah.
But then when I'm living that lifestyle, it becomes a bit, I can't pray properly. It actually does pull me away from God if I'm being honest about it.
It not even beyond that, it's 100% fact, and it's for every single person. I feel that the whole concept around being equally yoked with your partner and things like that. And I feel the man who loves you wouldn't want to put you, if he loves God first, because you need to love God first, and you're trying, and obviously we're taught in the Christian in the Christian context for wives to submit to your husband. So when you're in the dating or the courtship, you're practicing and you're learning that whole concept of submission. But who are you submitting to? Like, if the guy is not caring about you having sex with him, or not being in the church himself, then it's a bit, what are we doing? Because you don't love me, because you don't know how to love me, because you don't love God first to understand what you can and can't do.
Very true.
Yeah, sorry, that went kind of like...
You're onto something. Yeah, so true. That's food for thought. Okay. I feel like I needed to hear that message.
Well, it's because I've been telling myself it for a while. Trust me, you need to hear it. I need to rehear it sometimes.
I hear you.
So what other things kind of irritate you around Valentine's Day? One thing I thought was kind of funny, you know how the weather went snowy and all that stuff, yeah? When is February a good month for weather? So, like, what can you actually do? Or that means we'll snuggle weather indoors.
I think it's just going to keep you snug indoors, basically.
I want to be snug indoors.
Wait, so if somebody, conceived on Valentine's Day, when would their child be born? I'm trying to
9 months after.
Out. What's 9 months after?
March, April, May, June,
November.
July, August, November. No, November. Yeah, no, December.
Is it December?
Yeah, November,
December.
Yeah,
so winter. Interesting.
I was laughing at something because I saw one advert. I think it was IKEA, and it was promoting like a baby's bed, and it was like, "Happy Valentine's Day! Buy this bed for the baby you're about to get in 9 months." I was like, "Wow,
that's
okay,
exactly
IKEA.
What's gonna happen." So true.
That's what I mean, consumerism. Any ploy they could get to get.
Oh, we used to joke about it at school. One of my friends was like, on Valentine's Day, there's going to be an earthquake because everyone's having sex. We used to laugh about that so much.
People will be getting it on Valentine's Day.
I don't know. I'm not negative about Valentine's Day. I'm completely positive about it, if I'm being honest. I love seeing the love. The thing is, here's what I feel about mindsets. I think you can see something. You can either be inspired or you can be bitter.
Yeah.
It's an absolute choice. On that day, when I see all that love, I'm inspired because I feel mine is surely coming by God's grace.
Amen.
So it just inspires me, and it's just nice to just see that there is love out there, that men can be romantic and women can be romantic.
I know. Although, one thing I find really cringy
What?
is when guys propose to girls on Valentine's Day. My future husband, Do not do that. Thank you.
Why don't you like it?
I think it's cringe. I think it's like a bit nerdy and cringy. Like, just pick a random day, just not Valentine's Day.
But do you know what? I have a colleague who actually, it turns out that she was proposed to on Valentine's Day.
Cringy colleague, sorry.
So Valentine's Day is her... Oh no, she wasn't proposed to. It was her wedding anniversary. Sorry.
She got married on Valentine's Day.
I think so.
Worse.
Is it worse?
No, because you know me, yeah. Like, even when I get my partner, I really pray that we're not born in the same month, because I like spreading out celebrations throughout the year. So I like there being Christmas. I like there being like Valentine's Day. I like there being my birthday, his birthday, and then also an anniversary. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to celebrate throughout the year.
And then the children's birthdays as well.
I know. Like, so more times to celebrate throughout the year. I like it to be spread out.
I hear you. But because it's such a loving day, I don't mind being proposed to on Valentine's Day. Just not outside, maybe somewhere private.
I would definitely want... Sorry.
Oh yeah, let's just talk about proposals. What's your ideal situation?
Private as well. I do think like public ones are beautiful and everything like that, but I think it's a bit too overwhelming. Like, this is a private moment between me and you. We're about to, like, you're telling me you want to spend the rest of your future with me and build life, and the whole like, I want to propose to you, and then having everybody in cameras in front of you, I think would be a bit too much for me. And that's really weird, because everyone expects me to be like, ooh, really out there, but I want it to be a private moment. But you have to have a photographer. Just hire somebody around to capture my face, to have that moment of like, oh my gosh, and make sure it's a really pretty location and you've made me dress up for some dumb reason, and let it be a surprise as well. So yeah, but when I say surprise, also like in a way that I know it's coming, because at the same time, I feel like
your nails need to be done.
Yeah. No, but no, I mean it more like, I feel like before a guy proposes, a conversation around the future has already been had. Like, because you know, people say like a guy proposed and they had no clue. I think to myself, like, really, do you have like zero clue?
But come on, is it possible to be like 6 months in a relationship and not discuss, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But there's some people who get proposed to and they're just saying like, oh, I just can't say yes because it was a bit awkward, or they actually got, no, like, if a guy proposes to me and like 6 months in and I definitely see a future with him, but I don't think I'm ready yet, I will just say yes and we'll have an engagement. Because like, I don't know. I don't think if I say no to a proposal, I think we might break up. But do you think if you could say no to a proposal and you'll break up?
I would say no if I don't feel he's the one for me.
Then you might as well break up.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I wouldn't be with someone who I don't feel is meant to be with me at this point. So.
Yeah. But then at what point? That's why I was thinking, like, in 6 months, I could feel like I really like this guy. Yeah. I'm like, actually, I should love it. If you propose to me, please let us use the word love to each other. I really love this guy. I definitely see a future with him, but I'm not ready for marriage yet. But if you propose to me, I'll just say yes, and we can be engaged for like 2-3 years.
Really?
That's not my portion. That's not my portion. At my age, it's not my portion. Yeah. If a guy proposes to me, I know already, babes, we can be married in 4 months. Who cares? But if when I was younger I didn't feel right, I would still just say yes.
That wouldn't even happen if I didn't see a future with him. That's how I feel right now. I wouldn't even date someone I don't. Yeah. The minute I'm so like, it's maybe a bit too much, zero tolerance. But it's like, if I don't feel, if there's anything I'm seeing in you that even anything I'm seeing in you, it's more because I'm quite prayerful and I believe in intuition. Mm-hmm. I believe everybody has intuition. I just posted something about it on Instagram that everyone has that voice inside that just tells you right or wrong. You know in your heart if this is the right person or not. And
you can choose to ignore it or entertain it or listen and be obedient to it as well. And check it and test it as well.
That voice also, it's always there. But sometimes it seems quiet because you're not listening to it. Mm-hmm. But the more you listen to it, the louder it becomes. Sorry, it's back to my book that I was reading. So, intuition. So, if I don't even feel like we're supposed to be together, I'm not even going to waste more than 3 months dating you.
And you know, it's so important to listen to that intuition. Because have you ever had something, like years ago, I started dating a guy, but he wasn't a Christian. And I felt like in my heart, like things between us would be right. And I felt, at the same time, I felt God telling me that I told you to be. We spoke about this. I said you have to be equally yoked to this person. And I looked at the verse like, I would be equally yoked. But then I looked at another verse. I was like, if a man's an unbeliever, like you should still stick to your husband. And I was trying to like battle with God. And I'm like, then like there's a voice behind me saying, but he's not your husband. And I'm like, yes, but I'm praying into the future. And you see, because through me he can be saved. Who am I, Captain Saver? Who? Like, and I had an intuition about something. and I ignored it, only to put myself in a very, very disruptive cycle. I do still pray for God. I wish him the best and that kind of stuff. But from our encounter with each other, you have a whirlwind of emotions and all that kind of crap. And he pulled me away from God. He pulled me away from who I believed I was, because I felt insecure in a lot of areas. I felt vulnerable in a lot of areas, and then put me into a trap of lustful ways and like having sex and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is not what God's called me to be in, and I'm not happy. And it's like, I felt God always in the back saying, I told you. But for some reason, there's something I wanted, forgetting that God always has something 20,000 times better for me. But because it was that immediate thing, it's like the intuition. So sometimes I ignore my intuition.
So
and
it's kind of two things. So obviously, I mean, we're Christians, but a lot of the listeners may not be Christians or may not have a belief. If you are religious, you need to put, not even religious, but if you have a belief system, that belief needs to be above the earth. It needs to be above what you want. And I feel like as human beings, we kind of have the danger of falling into the trap of putting what we want first. And that's why, you know, for example, I've been in relationships where, I mean, it's quite clear this person is not for me.
Quite clear.
But I'm still trying to fight fire and wind to be with this person. And then it also goes back to the previous episode where we spoke about red flags. Do you feel secure in this relationship? If you don't feel secure, that is a huge sign. You've answered your question. This person's not really right. Let's be real. But yeah, intuition. Big part. What were we even talking about? Like,
about Valentine's Day and then proposal.
Oh yeah, okay. So my ideal proposal.
Oh yeah, sorry. What's your ideal proposal?
I have two ways that I see it. Oh, what I would really like.
Future Jennifer husband, take note. You best be listening right now. So continue.
If he surprised me with a flight somewhere.
Yes.
I want him to propose to me abroad.
So do I. I would like to do it.
I would scream. I would love it, like on a beach, because I want it to be really nice scenery. But I don't want those people there.
Yes.
If my family's there, that's fine, but I don't want anyone else.
I don't even want my family there. You've had to ask my mum and my dad.
Yeah.
You've had to ask both of them.
Family's blessing is so important.
Yeah. Family blessing has to be there, and make sure my mum don't say nothing. Because mum's got such a big mouth. I feel like she just want to tell me, but their blessing has to be there. But I just want it between me and the guy.
I want it to be an absolute surprise. I don't even want to sniff that it's coming. I don't even want to expect it. So it can either be he takes me away somewhere abroad, or we're just doing a vacation and then he just proposes. I don't mind something even simple. Like I was watching Sex and the City and Carrie was just walking along, and not Steve, what's his name? Oh, I've forgotten his name now. The guy with the beer belly. How can I forget his name? I'm still watching.
The one she didn't marry in the end. Anyways, people know. I know what you're talking about.
I can't believe I forgot his name. I'm watching.
I really liked him.
Yeah, she really fucked him up. But anyway,
I know.
So
he got remarried though, and he met somebody else.
Yeah.
Then they got back together. They had sex.
They kissed again.
Yeah, they kissed. That was it.
Dubai one
in the movie.
Yeah. But anyway, so either he takes me away somewhere, or we're just doing something random. And he just does it. He just kneels down and proposes to me. I don't think... If he does something like grand, like takes me away, then yeah, maybe get pictures. But if it's something like we're going for a walk or just something random and he just does it, then I don't mind no pictures.
I really want pictures.
I don't mind. It depends on how it's done. If I'm like looking really nice and fire and it's worth like shooting and sending... I will look
fire though.
Then yeah, take pictures. But if it's like a normal day and... He's just surprised me. You can even surprise me in the house. I don't mind.
No, don't do it in the house.
I don't mind. Do you know what? I'm not that... Do you know what it is? I'm not that big on how you do it. But the ring, you must come correct. That's where... Do you have
like a certain type of ring you want, or like... Because I remember when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, it has to be like a third of his salary or something like that. That's what I used to say. I don't think that way anymore.
It's weird. I don't think about price, but I just know the style I want.
Yeah, that's good.
But not necessarily. But I want a nice rock. Because you know what? My manager has the most sexy rock on her finger, and it's so nice. At meetings, she's just swinging her hands around. I'm like, listen, I want a rock. It looks so good. I love it. Yeah.
I just want it to look pretty. Like as long as it looks pretty, it doesn't make my hand green. I'm happy.
Oh my gosh, hand green.
I know.
Goodness.
I know. I don't care if it's not a real diamond. As long as it's like
What?
I don't.
Nina, stop it.
I don't.
Stop it.
No, as long as it doesn't make my hand green, I'm happy.
Because you said that, you're probably gonna get like the biggest diamond.
No, I think as long as it's like it's really pretty. I know what kind of diamond or cubic zirconia or what? I don't know what.
Why are you saying this to
Because
yourself?
I don't mind.
Stop it.
I actually don't mind.
You don't even need to say this stuff. Why are you
But I don't
voluntarily saying this out
mind.
here?
I actually don't mind. Like, I really don't. Like I said, I'm beautiful as long as it doesn't make my hand green. I'm happy. I want it really unique, playful. I've seen some cool ones on Etsy. It's quite sad that I look at stuff like this, but I do. But you know Etsy? Yeah. I've seen some really cute.
How much are they on Etsy?
They do range from 2,000 to 10,000. Depends on what you have a ring.
No, I really want a diamond. I really like it.
I mean, it can be a diamond. I don't mind.
Because when I see it on other women, it's just so... so... Diamonds are so lovely. Oh, I can't wait to be able to afford that like lifestyle. It's so nice.
Yeah, they look really pretty.
I love diamonds.
I don't mind though. The reason... One thing that I do say this about a proposal, because, you know, I remember one time, long time, my friend didn't end up marrying this guy, but she goes to me and she says, we're engaged. I was like, oh, that's so exciting. How did he propose? Oh, we were just talking on text and we had an argument, and then we were talking and we made up, and then he texted me, he goes, you know, I'm going to marry you. Will you marry me? So I was like, oh, how did he do it?
Via text?
On text. I was like, hun, you're not proposed. And then she was like, no, he proposed to me via text. I was like, that's not a real proposal.
So what did she say back? Like, yes.
Yeah, no, I went to a that's not a real proposal, by the way. I wasn't even trying to par or anything like that, because I believe the concept of a guy going to get a ring and planning is him planning on him saying, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. A casual drop on text saying, oh, will you marry me? He did not think of you at all. A guy to actually physically go to the shop.
I'm sorry, but I feel like your friend is kind of...
We didn't get married in the end. This was years ago.
Should take accountability in this as well, because clearly
she didn't get married.
He thinks it's okay to text her proposal.
They obviously did not get married in the end for reasons.
Okay.
For reasons.
That's mad.
They didn't get married in the end.
You're asking someone to spend the rest of their life with you via text.
But that's the thing. I've also heard people say, "Oh, we got like I've heard people say they're engaged." I do think the method how you do it is important. It doesn't have to be extravagant or not, but the thought process of you actually planning, a guy's actually physically planning on how he's planning on doing this, and he's going out and picking a ring and choosing a ring and like looking at like people for support and stuff like that. That shows, and the whole you've gone to my parents as well. Yeah. A guy hasn't gone to my parents. I feel like when a guy proposed to me, I'll like say yes. I'll go to ask my mum, right? I'll literally go like, you've asked my mum and dad, right? And if he hasn't, I'll be like, babe, I can't announce this until you've gone and asked them and you got their blessing. Like, and then I feel like my partner won't even try that. I feel like he'll definitely ask me.
That's the thing. I feel like you said, especially because of the age we're at, we're a bit more mature. I feel like we should. I feel like we should make it a bit more clear what we expect from such a thing. Like, I mean, anybody dating you, even just as your friend, I can see you take family very seriously. So it's common sense to ask your family first before.
Yeah, I might even have to ask my brother. I'm joking, you don't have to ask my brother.
Your brother, gosh.
You don't have to ask my brother.
It's a bit
It would be
much.
nice if he did, but no. But my brother's a big part of me. Like, my brother's only a year younger than me, and so we're quite... I wouldn't say we're close, but we're amazingly close. And like, people thought when we were younger we could be like twins because we're that close in age, and my mum used to make us wear the same outfits and all that kind of stuff. And because like I didn't grow up with my dad in the house, he was always like the man in the house. Yeah. I would tell him to ask my dad because that's respect for me, regardless if my dad has say or not. That's a respect factor that I'd want. But my brother's important as well. So
this is true. But if I was a man, I'd just ask the parents.
Yeah.
Anyone else is just too much.
Yeah, that's true.
Too much grilling.
I'm probably asking too much right now.
But anyway, I also wanted to ask about interracial relationships.
What's your thoughts on it?
I'm very open right now, to be honest. I was just, funnily enough, just having this conversation the other day. I just don't have any limits or rules right now.
Go, girl.
If I'm attracted to someone and they make me happy, I'm more than happy to go there.
That's where I'm at right now. Like, God will surprise you with who they'll bring into your life. Yeah. And it could be someone you completely didn't expect.
But that being said, if you were to date someone outside of your race, would it have an impact? What sort of impact would it have on you? Realistically, what would the challenges be?
100% have an impact. So for me, honestly, love is love. So I have no beef around people dating outside the race. I do have a beef though if you fetishizing black men. Like that for me is a problem. Or fetishizing any other race. I'm not just trying to put on black men. And, or if you're dating this race because you feel like, oh, I want mixed race children, or oh, like this would be better for me in life. Those things are problematic for me. You can date whoever you want to date, but let it be grounded and rooted in love and an actual like mutual respect between each other. When I was in secondary school, so this is time ago, and obviously I'm a completely different person. I was dating someone who was white. And we did have issues in our relationship, not because he's white and I'm black, but because we have two completely different cultures. Yeah. So
he's white and you're black.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's you're right. Because I remember one time, I'm 15, 16. He's going to a party or rave, and he's asking me why I can't come with him, why I can't stay over at his house. And I'm not saying all white parents allow their kids to stay over at their parents' at
no,
their
but African parents
house.
did not allow that.
My mummy. And then me with my big mouth thinking, because my family is a bit interesting, because when my mum and dad divorced and stuff like that, like the relationship I had with my mum was just in a really grey space. But I thought I could tell my mum I had a boyfriend. The moment I told her I had a boyfriend, it was like my mum just switched, as in everything became stricter. She would go through my phone. She would do all this stuff. And I was just thinking like, So for me to then try plan to go stay over at this party with this guy.
Myth.
It was a myth. And then he would argue with me that I'm not always there for him. I can't always go to these places. I can't always be there. I'm like, you're there arguing with me because my mother isn't going to let me out. Whereas a black brother would have just fully understood the deal. He'd be like, yeah, that's... And it was crazy because he didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Like, it was so... And that's just something small for when I was 16. Obviously, there's different issues at my age today. But I started to realise that. And then little things as well. I know this sounds really weird, but little things. Because, like, I would sometimes have bucket baths when I was younger. My boy didn't understand what I meant by bucket bath. I was like, I don't even want to talk about it because I don't understand. Or like, if my mum comes home with a jelly rice and a certain food smelling and stuff like that. Like, he just didn't understand. And and what was annoying, that I was 15, so regardless, whoever you're dating, you feel a bit shy anyways. But then I felt a bit even nervous about my own black culture and background, that things he wouldn't understand. And I felt like I was trying to be protective of it, which is like, no, like... I'm a lot more confident in the person I am, and I'm not apologetic for anything that my family. So I'm very proud of how far we've gotten. But yeah, so yeah, culture things can, if both of you guys are not mature, can be an issue.
I feel like I've never been in an interracial relationship. I have friends of different races. That's not a problem at all. But relationship's not a problem. But I've never actually ventured there yet.
Yeah.
And when I do, I feel like we will have some things we'll have to overcome. Like, there's so many things that I do because I'm a black woman. And I don't know, even at work and in other settings, when people ask me questions about my blackness, I find it very difficult. I don't even answer them. Like, I'm at that point where I don't answer. Like, I could have braids and they'll be like, oh, your hair's really nice. How do you do it? I'm like, oh, it's extensions. They're like, how do you do it? I'm like, oh, it's hard to explain. Google it. Google braiding. And then that's it. I just walk away. I never like try and... I don't know why. Maybe I have this issue with being questioned about my blackness. But I find it really difficult to answer questions about that. So I feel like that's something I'll have to... Because there's so many things I do. Like, I have to wrap my hair before I go to bed. How do I explain that? What else? Our food is very different. Very spicy. How do I explain that?
You like some spicy.
The constant creaming of my skin. How do I explain that?
No, white people just cream their skin. No offense.
Like, even the ashy... Because I actually go really ashy if I don't cream.
I remember I went to boarding school for sixth form. And so the girls I stayed with were white, and I'd cream my body every single morning, and they used to go, Linda creams her body like I'm
waiting to hear this.
So they used to go like, Mina creams her body like every morning, like, oh my gosh, she's so extra. And I looked at them and I was like, y'all don't cream your body every morning? And they're like, no, like, who's got time to do that? Why would you do that? And I was like, now I know why black people have the fountain of youth. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That whole black don't crack thing. I think it's just because we moisturise. I don't even think.
Yeah, but the difference is, if we're dry, our skin can visually see it. Whereas if their skin's dry, it's not as vision obvious until they're much older.
But you can even feel it though when you're dry.
That's what white people. If you want to comment and let us know like how y'all do it, because I do feel like some white people are kind of clocking on that they need to cream their body. I think some people are starting to clock on because they realise that's why you see in some of their creams they're talking about shea butter and cocoa butter, things that we've been using for how long. Yeah, they're now putting it into their marketing. But we can teach them something. No offense. Yeah, it can teach them something.
That's a benefit of interracial relationships. I feel like you can really learn a lot from each other.
Yeah.
Especially with my friends who are from different races. Like, I have friends that are Asian, friends that are white, just all over the world. And every time we sit down and talk, we talk about the everyday things, but somehow we always go back to culture a little bit. And there's just so much we can learn from each other. So I feel like that's a benefit.
I know. The hard thing though for me is, no offense to my lovely white listeners, friends out there, if I have friends who are Asian and stuff like that, I feel there's a lot more things that we have in common because there's lots of culture areas where we align, where some things you just do because of this how family
Like
setup
respect
is,
and
and
all that
respect.
stuff, yeah.
A lot of things like just seem to be a much more natural stance. Whereas I don't know if I'm using the right word, like saying white culture, Western culture. That's better. Unless for me, unless it's my friends who are white, because my white friends who are in church act differently to white friends out of church, and I don't know why.
How do you mean?
Well, I remember talking to one girl at work, and I don't know how a conversation around her boyfriend doing so and so, and she goes, "I'm doing this anyways," blah blah blah. So the concept of submission is like a complete alien thing to her. I don't remember the line was. I think we were talking about, oh, can you believe they still say this in like certain like lines at the end of when you'll get back to vows, I will respect and obey, blah blah. And I was like, no, I believe that. And she looked at me, she goes, no, I don't do them things like obey my husband, no. And it was, that's me simple, where I was like, it's just standard to me. And even if you're black and not religious, it's also something that you also understand as well. Not saying it's cultural. And so that's something that I see in the Asian community. My friends who are Asian, they have something very similar in the way they look at money, and the way they look at the next generation, how they give that. I'm not saying white people don't. And
family as well, respecting your elders. Yeah,
I'm definitely not saying white people don't. And the reason why I say my white friends who are in the church, they have that foundation.
Yeah.
So they act differently versus the ones who are not in the church. You really see that, like, I feel like there's Western culture and then there's also kingdom culture. So like the Western culture to me is one that's always, I'm all for empowering women. Me, I'm a woman who wants to be empowered. I have poems about women leaving their legacy and mark and all that kind of stuff. But their mission is heavily around that. Or sometimes seems like they're cutting out the man. And that for me, I see that in their relationships as well. When they talk about their spouses, where it's like they say things to me that for me, it's just like, oh, I can never, like, I remember one girl at work telling me how, I remember, this was so crazy.
Yeah.
They moved out, her and her partner moved out, they're trying to find a place, but in the meantime, they were staying at her partner's parents' place, and she couldn't stand her partner's parent because she keeps making her lunch for work, and she can't stand the lunch she gives her, and she doesn't understand why the mum just doesn't leave her own stuff alone, and how she can do her own laundry, and she gets annoyed that her boyfriend, like, he can't do his own laundry when he's at his house, his mum, and how her mum just gets on his nerves because she puts these pickles in the sandwiches, and why does she do it? And I'm there thinking, like, so you're staying in your man's parents' house, yeah, and getting vexed because she's feeding you, she's serving you, she's happy to do your laundry. Don't get me wrong, everyone likes their own space, I get that, but it was so alien to me, because I was like, you're not paying rent so you can stay and you can buy your own place, and you're looking to buy them, and you're there saying, I can't stand her. And I'm like, this is so alien to me, because it's like, I'm not used to hearing people talk about elders, let alone your partner's parents, that way.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying all Western culture is like that. I'm just saying in that headspace. So imagine for me, if I'm with someone from the Western culture and they don't understand the type of level of respect they've got to give to my mum. Like, when I was 16, the guy didn't understand the type of level of respect he had to give to my mum. Yeah. The whole, then your mum's crazy, why don't you let you go out? I was 15, so I didn't defend my mum as much. But today, you can't talk about my mum. Like, obviously you're in a part, like, when you become my husband, my mum is your mum is my mum, and parents get on your nerves regardless, it happens. But he was almost letting that be a distinctive force in our relationship at 15. Like, yeah, there's so many things where, not saying all cultural things are right as well, because there's some things in our Nigerian culture that we need to check that isn't all right, but it's like things like that.
Yeah, that's the thing about interracial relationships. I feel like there's a lot of things we differ in, such as, I mean, for me personally, based on what I've seen, there's the simple things like wrapping my hair, creaming my skin, washing my chicken. But then there's the deeper things, like...
I didn't know people didn't wash their chicken.
All my days, I was at work, and one guy, one time, I'll never forget that, he was like, I can't believe people wash their chicken, so stupid. He was so, like, emotional. Oh. I was thinking, mate, just do it your way, we'll do it our way, it's fine. So with interracial relationships, yes, there are the more, shallow things that could be difficult, but there are the deeper things, such as, fair enough, we've both made this decision that we're going to go into this journey together. What's your family saying? What's my family saying? Because that can have friction as well. There's the, do you really love me for me? Or like you said, am I being fetishized? Or do I love you for you? Or am I fetishizing you as well? I feel like there's so many things. That's why I really have a lot of respect for people who are in interracial relationships, because I don't think it's as easy as, I don't think it's easy. Like for me personally, thinking about doing it, I think it's quite an amazing thing to like overcome all of that and be together and just be cool. Like I feel like, I guess if you love someone, that will be the number one thing and that will drive behind everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm open to it. I won't be surprised if like my husband's white. I won't be surprised at all, if I'm being honest.
I won't lie. I'll be surprised if my husband's white.
I won't be surprised.
I would be. I'm comfortable if he has dated. You know what it is as well. I'm really, really big on Black empowerment. I really am.
That's interesting because
really
my friends, I have a few friends who are in really huge on Black empowerment, but they're in interracial relationships, and I don't think that affects anything.
That's a fair point, and I like that you called me out on that, because I do know people as well who,
because you can't affect who you love.
Yeah, that's very, very, very true. Yeah, no, you're facts. That's facts.
And then another thing, sorry,
but I feel like he needs to be into Black empowerment as well.
Of course he will be if he's with you. I mean, you're Black, so anything that empowers you, he should be for.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm so like, I'm like, that area is so great because it's like, I won't lie, I do see myself having cute little Black children, and it's what I want. I mean, God
don't know.
God might surprise me and be like, haha, you're this Asian guy, but he's the best for you, and he loves you, and he serves you,
that is
and
the thing.
To you, and he's amazing, and I'll be like, I really do love him. Like, God will just surprise you with someone that you didn't expect.
That's the thing.
So whatever God calls for me, it's fine. But I really do want some cute little Black children.
But what I will say is, it's weird because I know, okay, so as an African, Africans are deeply traditional, deeply cultural. I'm not deeply traditional or deeply cultural. And that's something I'm really happy about, because I find that people in the West tend to think a lot more
open. Yeah, agreed.
But I feel like I'm someone that wouldn't do something unless I understand why I'm doing it. And a lot of the culture that my mom has tried to put into me, because I don't understand why I'm doing it, I don't do it. Why do I have to serve you my right hand? I don't understand. It's all these little things. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I just don't do it. But if I feel like, one thing I'm really huge on is respecting your elders.
Yeah.
I understand why I need to do that. These are my mothers, my aunties. These are women. Whenever I see, it's not that I like racially discriminate, but whenever I see an older Black woman, my heart melts more than anywhere else, because that's my mom. That's my nan. That's a figure, an authority figure for me that I really respect. It just comes naturally to me. So things like that, I can definitely do. Looking after your family, catering for your family. Again, I don't really agree in the firstborn dying for their family. I don't think that's fair. Like, putting all that responsibility on the firstborn. You know, when families are like, you know, the firstborn has to do this, has to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's carry the load of the family. It's just a bit, again, that doesn't make sense to me.
There was something that I don't understand it properly. I went to some Christian conference last year. It's very long.
What did they say?
But something about the firstborn being, you have to sacrifice the firstborn, and you have like a firstborn.
Mate,
what is that?
I will not be sacrificed for no one. I'll tell that right now.
I can't remember what it was, but basically your firstborn is God's. And I didn't understand. And I think there could be something around it. I don't understand it fully, so I don't want to talk about it too much.
I think the firstborn is a special child. It's a gift. It's a
yeah.
I'm not even saying that someone we're both firstborns. Yeah. But it's kind of seen as the ideal, not the ideal child,
but my dad's firstborn though, so I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. But still,
we're not even protected that way.
Yeah, but there's something even, I think
there's something spiritual. You're meant to do something around your firstborn
and special about it.
Yeah.
But I feel, again, because of especially coming from my culture, there's this thing where the firstborn is like a second parent. These aren't my goddamn kids. I'm not going to look... Why should I have to... Because I look back at it now and I just feel so much... I have to be honest, if I'm being honest on this pod, so much anger like about how much I had to look after my sisters. It's like, they're not my children. I feel bad saying it, but you chose to have all these kids and you're putting it on me. It's not fair.
I had the pain of my brother being 1 year younger than me, but because he was a boy, he was able to do more. But because I was the firstborn, I had more responsibility.
Oh, that's
so it's almost like I didn't have the freedom my brother had, but I had the responsibility above that because I was older. It'll be like, Mina, go wash the dishes, and I'll be like, oh, why can't my brother do it? And I'll be like, because you're the girl and you're older, go do it. I'll be like, why are you questioning me?
That's another thing.
And then other thing, that my brother would play football late, at night, so he was able to go. And bear in mind, sometimes I think it was even more dangerous for a young boy to be out, because it'd be like Tottenham area, Broadwater Farm, them time places. Yeah, man could be out till 11 p.m. But me, be out past 8. Around 14.
No, 15. I understand protecting the girls.
Yeah, I understand.
But like making the girls go and wash dishes.
But when you're 14, you're there thinking like, it's so unfair.
It is unfair.
Yeah, because my brother was literally 1 year. Like when I mean like our friendship groups even merged with each other, because he literally is 1 academic year below me. Wow. He has friends older than me.
Your mum didn't waste no time.
My first boyfriend when I was like 11 or 12 years. How old was I?
Oh, wow.
My first boyfriend when I was 12, maybe, then was his friend. But his friend was a year older than me, because from football. So we've been quite close all the time. That was funny.
That is nice. Yeah. So you feel like...
Wasn't nice.
No, it's weird, because so you feel like you're the firstborn. Yeah. You have all those responsibilities, but you don't get the
privilege,
freedom or respect.
That he had because he was a boy.
It's weird. The way I live my life now with my sisters especially, I'm the oldest. There's a gap of up to about 10 years. No, not 10 years. 8 years. All 4 of us. There's 4 of us. And I don't really treat them... Because there's this whole thing in a lot of African communities as well. They feel like, oh, I'm older, so you have to respect me. You have to do what I say. You have to serve me.
I try it. My sister laughs at me.
I don't even treat my sisters that way.
I try it. My sister just laughs at me. I try it though.
Good. I believe in equality. I treat... My little sister who's 8 years younger than me, I speak to her exactly how I speak to my friends. I do not treat her any differently. I give her the same respect and expect the same respect back. I just don't believe...
Sister, I could try it, but she just laughs at me. No, I'm joking. No, I agree in terms of like, you don't need to exert your authority in that way.
What authority?
Like, yeah.
This is now where it comes to the Western culture. Yeah. Because you can't use your age as authority. That's bullshit.
That's very true. And I'm battling around the age subject at the moment. That's another conversation. That is very, very, very true.
Like, I feel like
that's when the African culture gets into your head, being because you're this age, because you're older. Obviously, with age comes more experiences, but also you hit a certain age and you're kind of all having the same experience at one point.
Exactly.
But then, my sister's 7 years difference. She it's odd because I see her as like my baby sister, but then she's also grown into a young woman herself, and she's also my confidant in terms of like I speak to her about. Yeah. I tell my sister like I sometimes cry and go, oh my god, I'm so thankful that you gave me a sister who's like my inbuilt best friend, because I can talk to her about everything. Like I sometimes tell my sister like, I'm going to tell you this because I can't say it out loud because people might judge me, but I can tell you. Yeah. You know when this person does this, I don't like it. And she goes, yeah, don't say that out loud. That people gonna look at you crazy. I'm like, I know, but so I can that tell sounds
like you don't exert that authority thing on your sister either. Then
I don't, but I still look after her. Like if she needs it from me, like I'll just give it to her.
Yeah, I do. I hear you on that.
So it's like I have that look after thing, and then I don't exert it, but sometimes I'll be like, babes, like, girl, you need to do this thing. Why have you not done it yet? Just do it. Like, I mean, but in all honesty, when I do, my sister legit laughs at me. So like the only time she does it when she knows I'm genuinely angry at something. Like she borrows something from my wardrobe and my wardrobe's messed up. You're disrespecting my stuff now. But to be fair, I've talked to her as if I talked to anybody. Because if she was 1 year younger than me or even 1 year older than me, you've come into my room and you've taken something and you haven't put it back the way I told you to put it back. Don't touch my room again. I'll be like that, but it's not because she's younger.
You're lucky.
Because no, it's my stuff.
No, this is my stuff. You know what my sisters would do? Yeah. They will come to my room when I was living with them. Come to my room, mess up the room while they're trying to take all my stuff, wear it, cut with their long chest, come back to the house wearing my clothes. You tell them, how dare you take me? They'll be like, and what? What are you going to do about it? So maybe a bit of African.
My sister.
I had to get a combination lock on my door because it was getting ridiculous.
I don't mind my sister borrowing my clothes. It's annoying. She's much skinnier than me, so like he borrows things that are smaller or like jackets and stuff like that. But just put it back the way you found it. And before you take, if I'm out of the house, take whatever. But if I'm still asleep and I haven't decided what I want to wear that day, I might want to wear that. She's like, you wearing that though? I might want to wear that. I might be stingy and be like, no, you can't take it. But she does wear. There's one dress of mine she had for time. I was like, where's my dress? Oh, yeah, here it is. I'm like, it's dirty. It needs to go in the washing.
Oh, that's the worst.
I really wanted to wear that. She goes,
they have no respect, man. But it must be nice having a big sister you can just get loads of clothes from. Oh, that must be nice.
No, sometimes she gets, this is my clothes. She's like, you really need to step up your clothes game, you know? Like, there's nothing I can really pick up from
Whenever I'd go shopping, my sisters would be salivating, getting excited about when they're going to wear the stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, this girl.
But my sister's style's getting a bit lit as well, so I've been taking her stuff too.
Oh yeah, that's nice then. So it pays off.
It pays off.
But yeah, so interracial relationships, we're open to it.
Yeah,
But then also, what about now? So discussing the topic of race, what about when we now venture into the workplace? Do you feel like there are any boundaries?
Yeah, there's definitely boundaries. If you make me feel uncomfortable because of my blackness, that could also be a reflection of why do I personally feel uncomfortable. But if you're coming at me because of that, the classic one is always around hair. I actually personally don't mind when people talk to me about my hair. I really don't mind it, and my friends are surprised by that because.
But what do you mean by talk to you?
If I have a come with a new hairstyle and go, oh, you got a new hairstyle? Okay. Yeah, I do, and I look good. You better recognize it. You better recognize it. I don't mind it when people say things like that, and I don't mind inquisitive people who kind of ask questions like how do you do that? And I'll be fully like, oh, it's really cool. You just braid it, got extensions, kind of braid it in. Yeah. You got, and because I love it when they go, oh, I really wish I could do that with my hair. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you do. Bet you do. That's literally what I say. Like, I'm blessed. God blessed me with this hair. Yeah. I can't help it. I can do loads of things that you honestly can't do.
I don't mind I mean, we can all do it. It's all hair.
Yeah, but not as good as we can.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
I don't mind the whole questions about like, oh, new hair. I'm not really someone that changes my hair often, to be honest, though. But if they're like, oh, new hair. Actually, do you know what it is? Because my wigs and stuff, I wear it on the weekend, so they never see it anyway.
Yeah.
But if they were like, oh, new hair or whatever, I don't mind that. But I don't know why. You're right. Maybe I should ask myself why. It triggers me when they ask me how it works. I don't want to explain that. I don't know why, but I just can't. I don't want to. I'm not getting into the conversation with you. I don't know why.
I openly talk about that I'm wearing a wig.
But do you know what it is? One time I explained to one woman, not in this workplace, it was a few workplaces back actually. She was asking me about my wig, and this is when I was new to wig life and everything. And I was explaining to her how it works. And she was like not understanding. So I was showing her the weft so she could understand how it works.
I don't show nobody the weft.
No, just a bit. What's weird is I'm really cool. No. I'm really cool with this woman. She's she's Lebanese. Yeah. Really lovely woman. I showed her, like, we're so close. I know everything about her. So I showed her the weft, and you should have seen her face. She was feeling sorry for me. Her face was feeling sorry. Like, and I feel like that single encounter was it for me. I was like, I'm not explaining any of this to anyone. I don't need anyone giving me pity party. I think that's probably why I don't like explaining things to people anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah. I never realised that until now.
Yeah, it's good you've had that realisation point, because when I explain my wigs to people, I'm actually giving other people pointers because I don't think their hair looks that great. And I say white people wear wigs too. So like I tell them like, this is a wig. And if you want to live this lit life that I live, you can talk to me. Like, I've got, like, suppliers with AliExpress. They do blonde hair, too. Like, one girl told me she wants to cut her hair. And I'm like, if you don't like it, just buy a wig. And she's like, oh, yeah. Like, I literally tell people, because there are white people out here living their wig life as well, living their best wig life. So I'm doing it as more as an education piece. It is becoming universal, people, because I'm just here like flossing and looking great on these people.
But I mean, wig is one thing. What about like braids and stuff? Even that I don't like explaining.
Braids I explain because I do so many cool braid hairstyles. And if you want to do it, you guys can do it. And I can definitely give you my contacts. It's just that they're going to maybe add an extra 100 onto what I would pay.
That is something I've noticed as well.
Well, your hair is different from my hair. And one thing, though I'm very open about it, I remind them it's a black hairstyle. I'm very open about this is black hairstyle. Yeah. Because I'm very big on being cautious of appropriation and all things like that. But I know it sounds bad. I come in a way that I look really lit, and I apologise. You guys can't look as lit as me. Sounds so big-headed and so bad. And it's like, but if you want to, I can support you. Yeah. It's more like I'm feeling sorry for them, which is bad. I no one should ever look down on anyone, no matter what way.
Yeah, I do feel that.
It's bad on me. But that's literally my energy. It's like, I know, I can switch it up. Obviously I've recently cut. I cut my hair like 6 months ago. So it's a shorter like fro. But the next day I might choose to wear a wig. I might get braids. I might do faux locks. People say, your hair always looks like different and lit and cool. And I'm like, I know.
They should be used to it by now. Black girls change their hairstyles all the time.
As my workplace, people are very used to it. Yeah, so cool. People don't mind me. And one thing, because I'm in the creative field as well, like the hairstyle I have kind of helps the persona in which I present when I'm on the stage. So I like to switch it up and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
And then also when white people change their hair, I compliment their hair. Like one girl, she cut her hair, she dyed it. I was like, oh, have you done something different with your hair? I say it. I'm like, have you done something different with your hair? Like, yeah. Like, oh, yeah, I
do actually. You're right. I do.
So if I do something different with my hair and they didn't say something, I'll be like, hello, does anyone look at my new hairstyle? Like, do I need to fling it in your face? Recognize me.
No, they'll always say
Yeah,
it looks
they do.
nice or it looks
'Cause
different.
I always
But it's just
look-
when they start asking the technicalities. But then there's all the other aspects of race at work. So as a black woman at work, I feel that I can't be angry. That's how I feel. I feel
hear
like
you.
that's the one emotion I'm not allowed to show.
I hear you.
It's
on
like a
that.
silent rule. It's weird because in my career so far, the different workplaces I've seen so many different women, different races display their aggression so happily, and it's completely fine.
And bring out their strong feminist views.
Screaming,
and
slamming,
women-
everything.
Yeah.
But I know if I did that, it won't slide. It's one of those things I know I'm not allowed to do. And I feel like that's something that's kind of sad, because it's like anger is a human emotion that everyone feels. But whether it's being aggressive or whatever, or just feeling passionate. But I
But
feel
the
like
stereotype of the
angry black woman,
angry black
I feel like we're
woman
constantly fighting that.
against it, and we're trying to show like, no, we can go
my
into your
days.
culture. It's like everybody else. And
Amanda
we're fine.
Seales, did you see her video?
What's her video?
Oh gosh. Basically, she was basically attacked by this guy. Not attacked, but like he basically came and bullied her off a basketball thing. And she came onto Instagram Live and she was basically crying. She was so upset about it. She was explaining things that happened and how it upset her and how she had to walk away because she didn't want to be the angry black woman. And I was just like, oh, this is every day. Like, we can't be angry. We just have to like hold it in and walk away.
It is something that's completely fair to be frustrated and angry about, and it's unfair that we can't display that emotion. But I'm not trying to like diss any other race or anything like that. As black people, we've endured a lot, and I personally believe we're stronger for it. And okay, maybe we can't display the angry black woman, but we can. And it's not fair that we always have to be the strong woman, because no, we're human like everybody else.
Exactly.
We're allowed to be weak. We're allowed to be vulnerable. We're allowed to be
cry.
emotional. We're allowed to cry. But I think there's something beautiful in terms of when a black woman comes with something that's a really hard situation, comes with strength, still be able to assert authority, still able to kind of be like, you know what, come preserved and controlled, because I believe God's going to bless that so much. It's unfair, because I
feel like
there
it's
should be
so
an
easy to
prayer.
say that, but when it happens, it's really it's so painful.
It's
I was in a meeting where somebody said
Yeah.
something very just disregarded me, where it's very unprofessional, very rude.
Yeah.
I can't snap back at him, because if I snap back, don't be able to handle it. We'll both be in HR. So I just had to be quiet and take it. I was fuming. I had to go up to the
Yeah.
toilets and cry and just let that anger out. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not allowed to snap back at you.
I know. The thing that makes me really nervous is that when it comes to the work, I'm in obviously an organisation, a workplace, but my brain's slightly changed, because obviously I'm trying to like take less hours and I want to pursue poetry more. So I'm at a point where I don't care, which is crazy, because when I did care, these things are so highlight to me, and it's like, if I do certain things, it might stop my personal progression. And that's true. If as a black woman, you have career goals and things like that, so you have to be cautious how you operate. I'm not as cautious, and obviously I've been in my company for 4 years. For me, it's quite a long time.
Yeah.
So I've got that familiarity
Yeah.
kind of set. Somebody's trying me at work. I literally went to my manager. I'm surprised. Like, I'm probably becoming too easygoing. You need to check that person, because if I speak, I'm going to get angry. And I walked out of the room. I literally was like, you just need to check that. But not me trying to be out of my place, but I was like, I send really nice emails. I say this way, but they're trying me, and you just need to check that person. And I said that to myself in a meeting not long ago, and I was like, wow, Mina, what's happened to you? Like, you need to relax, because God also hasn't called you to come with a level of attitude either. So I do need to relax that. But I'm seeing my blackness come out more, and it's like, okay, God.
But that's my new thing now.
Chill.
That's my thing now. Instead of being aggressive, I've become passive aggressive. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But to be honest, I'm speaking the corporate language. That is the corporate language for anger. They don't really, shouting and stuff is not what they do. They do it in a sly way via email. And that seems to be the way people kind of exert their anger. I won't be like, oh, I hate you. But like, for example, if someone sends me an email asking me to do something that I know is not my job, I won't even respond. And they can't follow it up because it's not my job. So that's my way of dealing with it. So I don't confront people anymore. I just, in my own way, I try and be quiet.
Yeah.
Because there's this one guy that I worked with, and that was his way of doing it. And I thought, do you know what? He walks out of it not being very angry. So I think for me, that's what works. What about you then? So how do you manage your anger? So you feel like you're still quite open? You still say...
It's hard, because a job is just a job to me nowadays. So I just feel like sometimes people don't even deserve my anger. If I am angry, I just I just have to be quiet, like, because, like, when I'm angry, it's just not a pretty sight. Like, I'm really easygoing, I'm really happy, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, this is not the space where people need to see what my real anger looks like. So I rely on God a lot. I lean on God. I probably have to go into a quiet space, so I go back to my woo-saw moment. There's two different types of one. Via email gives you time to kind of like chill and be like in the background, so it gives you more time to just relax and not kind of have to respond straight away. So I was in a situation with someone who's very senior, director level actually, and my manager's in the room, and they were just querying something that's happened. And you know, sometimes with that senior up, we don't actually know all the stuff that's gone on in the background and the rationale behind something. So I'm politely kind of telling this person why so-and-so's happened this way and the procedures we have in place to kind of get these type of requests through. And because of this senior person, I think he had an issue with like the landlord, and landlord didn't like how things were being done. I'm like, oh, but by the way, we've done so-and-so, and I'm only given this amount of budget unless somebody can give me more budget, and it's a priority to the business, because this has never been a priority from my personal manager or from the CEO. Not good enough. We should be done this. And I've gone, this is how we do something. If you're not happy with something, you can kind of communicate with me in a nice way. And he was still kind of being like, should have done this. And I was like, no, you're not listening to me right now. I'm trying to tell you that this is the procedure that's agreed. And me being little manager, and this is director, we had a very awkward situation in the room. And my manager told me after, like, you handled that really well, because he was being quite aggressive to me. And I was like, I'm not going to take this aggressive behaviour. Yeah. Me and you've been working in the same company for 3 years, and I get it that you have your own pressures, but I'm not going to be talked to like I'm dirt ever in this company, ever in life, because I've discussed with you in a polite manner. We're all human. We all do things that are wrong sometimes. But if you talk to me in a way that's degrading, that makes me feel belittled, and you're trying to like bully me into a situation, your authority doesn't mean nothing to me, because I can leave this company today and I'm still going to be living and I'm still going to be fine. And I know in my heart of hearts, I did my best. Actually, could do. No, not to my best. I did what was the right method to do something. I'm not afraid of saying, actually, you could do something better this way, or we could try something out this way. But you're talking to me. You've never ever once talked to me about the situation, because you're dealing with this landlord here. I said, yep, just send me the landlord's details, emails. I can email them. I can tell them all this stuff was going on. From a market perspective, you want so and so to be done, but I haven't got the budget. I haven't been given the authority to get this budget. The budget you're asking for is around £20,000. I don't have authority to sign off that budget to do that small thing that doesn't generate any sales, but to make a landlord happy. Go try to talk to the CEO about that. I spent X amount of money to get something done because you're having issues with your landlord. I've told this landlord we're doing so and so. I can't go up to visit this place because it's not a business priority or critical issue right now. I just remember being in the room and how he was belittling me. I was shaking.
It's the belittling that really
I was
does.
shaking and then I think he was more shocked that I was talking back at him. I was like, no, we do this way. No, this is how we do it. Do it this way. We've got an issue with it. Then you speak to me. And the thing that was shocking me as well, my manager was just there, just being quiet. And I was like, that's another story anyways. I was just like, who's going to protect you? Because he's there just trying to be like happy, go lucky, trying to make things move.
That's another thing.
And the thing that frustrated me that I came in such a positive mindset and that's not right. You know nothing. You're part of property department. Why are you asking me about something that's marketing? You know nothing. Like, you asked me something.
This is why I prefer emails than face-to-face when I talk about passive, because if you put all that in an email, it would have been different. Do you know what I mean?
I'll tell you that one day I was shaking. I left the room and I was like, I walked into the kitchen in the office and I was like, I'm shaking. And somebody was like, what's wrong? I was like, I've never been so pissed off in my life.
That's the
thing.
At
work, I've never been that pissed off. And I went to the toilet, calmed down. I was like...
the good old toilet.
I was literally like, it's not that deep. Breathed, walked back to my desk.
That's the thing.
Didn't talk to the guy for like 3 weeks though.
But these things happen. These rubbing of shoulders and these infuriating of each other. Yeah. It happens to absolutely... Everyone experiences it at work. At work, on the road, in life. But obviously at work, there's a code of conduct. There's a way you have to carry yourself. But as a black woman, like we were saying, you can't get as angry as they are. You have to find your way, like you said, to just calmly execute. Whether you choose to be passive, whether you choose to be calm, whether you choose to say words back and shake quietly inside. It's hard, but we have to find our way to exert that anger, rechannel that anger
Yeah.
and exert it in a different way. And that's something that I find. So it's very easy to say it, but when you're actually doing it, it's so hard. It's
so
hard. You feel like you're going to cry. You feel like, why can't I pop off at this person right now? You can't. It's hard.
That's why I say, I think it's unfair that we've always been told that we have to be stronger, but I believe we are strong. I'm not trying to be distant to any other race, but I do believe black women are stronger. I'm not saying it's fair, but I believe we are strong. And I
don't even like that stronger thing. It's just annoying. It sounds like suffering.
I know I think it's unfair, but because I believe we're stronger, I believe God's got something so amazingly in store for black women as a community and black people in general. That's why I'm quite big on black empowerment. I get, because it's unfair. It's like, why do I always have to be the strong one? Why can't I be this extra person? But there's a bigger calling on our lives because of it. That's my personal belief. That's my personal belief. And I believe God will bless it in an abundant way. Like, I'm telling you, this is truth. I saw a study on this when I was doing my black studies and all that kind of stuff. Say if like everybody's like workload is average 100. So say to get you this job, you need to be an average 100. But because you're black, you're automatically seen as -10. Like, it's this weird thing. So you're automatically, you're 190. So for you to be seen as fair to that person or to beat that person, you can't even be 10% better. You actually have to be 11% better just to be. You can be standard, but because of your blackness, you're almost seen. You almost have to. You're put downgraded already, and then you have to be 11% stronger. Is it fair? No, but because you've already got that hustle, because you've already got that spirit, because you've already got that build, when things shift in this place, in this world, I know God's going to bless us in a different way because of it. That's my belief.
Yeah, that's fair. One thing I will say though, just if anybody is connecting and like really getting nasty flashbacks from what we're saying, it's very important to have your network. Yeah. Whether it's, I feel like there's a black auntie in every company that you can go to. Not necessarily auntie, but a more senior figure. If you open up to that relationship, there's none at all. If you really, everywhere I've been, there's always been an older woman that I could have gone to and I chose not to, if I really think about it. Because they've been through everything you've been through already.
I'll explain after.
Okay. But yeah, so I think it's important. If you don't have it at work, it can be your mum or your aunt. But somewhere you can go to and a shoulder to cry on, because you do need a shoulder to cry on sometimes. Sometimes I do get upset and I need to just talk to someone if I feel like I'm really holding in the anger.
Shoulder to people.
You feel like you have? Yeah, of course.
But because I don't know what it is that I don't know, like at work, I've never cried about work. Not because I'm a strong person. I have such a disconnect to work sometimes. I'm like, it's just not worth it. But I have people who've cried to me and I'm like, and then we're all human beings. So I'm not saying I've never cried as a person. I've cried. Fine. But I just refuse to let work break me. I just refuse. I'd rather leave. I
hear that. But some people.
Yeah, some people do.
Because I've had people cry to me as well. Yeah. It's quite common actually.
It's very common.
A lot of people cry at work.
I've had people who are older than me.
What's interesting though is, I don't know. I think I'm a bit weird. I don't like crying in front of people apart from my family. Yeah. So that's why I always go to the toilet if I'm going. I never cry at work, but it's like 2 times I have cried at work if I'm being very honest. So I'll just go to the toilet. Yeah. And I've been there for like 5 years. 2 times. So I just go to the toilet and cry. I know. But some people, when they do want to cry, open plan office, they're crying there, and I'm. I know.
There was one time. I didn't even cry. I was more like sniffle, and it was because I saw somebody die. I cried after I saw somebody die. I cried 2 weeks after the fact, and because the radio was talking about how another guy had been shot, and I literally stood there and I was like, oh my god. And no one ever seen me cry. I was like, oh my gosh. And then people were like, you okay? All came over me. I was like, no, I'm fine. I just walked to the toilet because I was like, my eyes are gonna cry, and I'm like, you're allowed to cry by that, by the way. And I'm like, yeah. Other than that, I was a bit at work, it's not deep. I remember one girl was crying because her manager didn't understand that she needed more support. And I was like...
Oh my days, I've seen people crying in meetings. Storm out of meeting crying.
Yeah.
It's very... Do you think it's a cultural thing?
Maybe,
That's actually interesting now you think about it.
Maybe. Because some people just it's like.
But then there's nothing, because I remember speaking to my therapist about it, because she kind of told me one of my issues is I don't like to open up or be vulnerable with people. And she was like, there's nothing wrong with crying. If you feel like crying. And me, I can't imagine crying outside.
I think there's nothing wrong with crying, but knowing your surroundings, who you can cry in front of.
That is it.
I can't cry in front of you if I don't know you love me. And no offense, but people I feel like me crying is wasted tears, because what can you do about it?
They'll console you, but they don't really care.
Really.
Not the way your family will.
Not what. if I cry in front of you, what will you do?
It's so true, actually.
What's
you're
me
so
crying in
right.
front of you
But
gonna
I've seen a
do?
lot of people actually like break down just there.
No,
Right there in the middle
same.
of the office.
Same.
And it's quite sad.
So what's been happening this week? What's been happening
Oh,
this
it's
week?
been a mad week. First of all, Bow Wow. Well, I saw in the shade room that he got arrested for having some sort of fight with a woman. And then it came out it was his ex. And pictures emerged. First of all, his mugshot came out first, and he had like loads of scratches on his head. And then later on, not too long, like maybe hours later, his the girl's photos came out, and she's like, she doesn't look scratched. And it was just very interesting because when you look at the picture and you look at the comments, a lot is like polarized. Okay. Some people are like, oh my gosh, LOL, she messed him up, laughing about it. And then some people, what makes you think about it is what some people were like, you know, what if he did that to her? What would we be saying then? And it's kind of true. It just kind of shines a light on domestic violence. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's the man or the woman. Like, it's just wrong.
It's just wrong
on so many levels.
On so many levels. But he was he the one that got arrested, or she got arrested? They both.
I think they both did. They both have mugshots. They must have both been arrested.
Yeah, domestic violence is a hard subject for me to discuss because I grew up around it.
Yeah.
So it's always a bit like, picture can tell 1,000 words, but those words can still be tied in lies. Like what really went on. But I'm completely against you hitting a significant other. Like it never needs to be a reason for you to hit somebody.
But do you know what's weird? I have to be honest with you. I had a conversation with someone who's quite close to me, and we were kind of talking about domestic violence, and she said that, you know, she's quite okay with if she hits her partner and he hits her. And it's like, as much as that disgusted me, because I felt really disgusted, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of judged as well, if I'm being honest, but a lot of people have that mindset. They see violence in a relationship as okay. And I don't know, it's a weird one.
That for me, I'm gonna pray for your friend, because it's never okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to judge other people and what they do, but
she was even giving me statistics of like the percentage of people who are in violent relationships.
Yeah, and it's not okay.
And it's like I'm completely. It's a non-negotiable for me.
It's a non-negotiable. Like I'd never want to divorce my partner ever want to divorce my husband. Like I'm against divorce. But I will divorce you if you hit me. Like you can cheat on me, I might not even divorce you, but if you hit me, I'm divorcing. And that's me personally. I'm not saying that's the right way about going about things. Because when you go through domestic violence, it's not just the physical abuse, but it can also be the emotional abuse. And I believe when you come home is safe haven.
Yes.
Home is where you feel you can be completely relaxed yourself, where you are in front of, like, obviously everyone's concept of home is different, but where you can be completely yourself. You can have your toes that aren't completely painted. You can look smelly that day. You can have your hair not done. Your hair can look wild. You can walk around naked. This is your home. This is your safe haven. And when someone takes away your safe haven because you're afraid that somebody might hit you, beat you, the person that's meant to love you and care for you and nurture you, that they can just randomly be pissed off you and just slap you backhand around your face.
It's crazy.
That is no longer your safe haven. So that means you have no place. You have no place where you can become. And then some people, it's just a physical beat. But when it goes it can go from a physical beat to your life physically being in danger. There are stories of husbands who've tried to burn down the house that their parents are in because there's a mixture of jealousy and all this type of stuff. And that means your life is in danger. Like, your life is in danger. I don't think God's ever called for anyone's life to physically be in danger on a daily basis. The person who hits you does not love you.
I don't get it. Here's the thing. So where I live, where I live is a weird setup. Like it's like loads of mini flats in a big house, something like that. So the people that live on the top floor is a couple. There's always a couple that lives there because it's quite a big space. And the guy was beating the woman, and it was so disturbing to listen to. I was like, "What?"
Did you call the police?
I didn't, you know. Should I tell you why I didn't?
Why?
Because I was speaking to my boyfriend at the time, and the way he reprimand, he was like, don't get involved, don't do nothing, just call me when it happens, we'll talk on the phone, but do not do anything. I was like, but I want to do something. But he was making me feel like I could be, he obviously was feeling protective.
Yeah.
But he was like,
that.
I could be in danger if I get involved. Like, he was so like, don't get involved, so I didn't. But it just...
You can call the police anonymously.
You're right. I probably should have.
Don't worry. Like
I did something eventually.
What
If I'm
did you
being
do?
very, I
Yeah.
reported it because it
That's
was
good.
becoming very unbearable to live with. But it's sad because I was just thinking.
Abuse victims don't leave straight away either, by the way. They don't always leave straight away.
The thing is, that's the thing. You have to go deeper. When you call the police, this woman is likely going to turn around and be like, "It's fine, like nothing happened." Like there's so much to think about when you're even reporting it. So it's like it was just so disturbing to listen to. You can hear him really beating her up, and sometimes one time she came down because I'm right next to the laundry room. She came down and he came down. He came tumbling after her. He was like, "Go fucking upstairs, go fucking." It was so aggressive and so. I was like, I can't live like this. The house is. You can feel the energy. It's so dark.
Yeah.
It's so dark.
So,
And I was like, I don't know. In my head, I was like, why won't you leave him? Why are you taking this?
Yeah.
I felt like crying every time I was hearing it. And I spoke to someone who I know is a therapist, and she was like, explaining that, it's not that easy. Like, there's unless you've been through it, you can never ever comment on it because it's not that easy for the victims to walk away.
So, it's what I just like I said, I grew up with it in my household when I was really, really young, and I witnessed like horrific things at a young age you wouldn't like want most young people to witness. And then you have a very weird sense of guilt because like you want to call the police but you're like 9-10 years old, so you don't really know what to do, and the police have come to your house like 3 times. I've had days where I had days where something happened where there was even a weapon involved, like an axe was involved, so I kind of went out to the streets and I screamed. I knocked on my neighbour's door because I was so afraid of like my mum's life at that period in time, and my mum had the strength to leave because of her children. I had an uncle, God rest his soul, who was also violent, and he tried to burn down my family's house, like not my family, like his family's house, and he was quite close to my dad. And it was like, at what extent do you stop? Because you're there not knowing any boundaries, that I don't care, the physical act of hitting somebody can extend to you choking that person till they pass out. They're boxing a person. If you wake up and you've got a punched eye on, if you every day do not know, like, is this parent going to get angry at me because so-and-so is not done, so-and-so is not done, and then the police come round, and you can say, the police will tell you, do you want to leave this person? And you don't leave this person, and the cycle continues. At what point? I'm very, very thankful for, like, I'm really close to my mum, like, because she had the strength to leave, where being Nigerian, people thinking that, why would you leave your husband? There's lots of people trying to get involved in certain things.
Tradition and culture
tradition
now.
and culture. But it's not a nice place to, it's not a nice space to be in.
Toxic.
Like, you hear of people dying because of it. Like,
a lot of people die because of domestic violence.
And then as a young kid, you don't know what to do because you're around it, and then you see that as an example of love. I still think God is still like working on me and how I see love, because then when you don't have a father around in the household, you're like, what does submission to a man look like? Why am I afraid of men? Why am I afraid to open up myself to men and all that kind of stuff? Or I see love in a very twisted way, and I believe God's broken that from me, but I just don't play with domestic violence ever, because if my mum left it, why should I then be wrapped and be dragged back into it? Like, it's just, I mean, like when your friend said it's okay, I'm alive today and I'm happy. I wouldn't
But that's
play.
the thing.
I wouldn't play. I just don't play with it.
I hear you.
So, yeah.
With domestic violence, a lot of the time, we always think of the man being the perpetrator.
Yeah.
But exactly just like in Bow Wow, quite often it is the woman. Those are the women that say it's okay. Do you know what I mean?
I know. And I think women that say it's okay to hit men are it's obvious they're problematic. But why do they think it's okay to hit men? Like, it's because they're used to that kind of like aggressive behavior, like asserting their own authority. They're women who obviously do not care about the concept of being submitted to your husband. They don't want to give anyone.
But I feel like it goes back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
You've had your experience, which is a very, this is something that really is very deep.
Yeah.
But you have chosen to reject it. Not everybody rejects it.
That is true. That is
Some
very
people, it's cyclical in generations. Like they continue and continue because they refuse to reject it. And also, just segue, the people who do, I saw a tweet the other day that was amazing. The people who do choose to reject family ways are breaking generational curses.
Amen.
And it's a hard road to walk
Amen.
down, but trust me,
Amen.
it's worth it.
Amen.
So well done you, honestly.
Well done, I'm still single.
For now, gosh, you're young.
I am.
It will happen, man. Gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I mean, because for me, like this, I'm talking about almost 20 years ago, like certain situation, and I feel like the reason I'm sharing it, not because I want to share woe is me, sometimes it's good to share stories because if anybody else is feeling or had similar experience, there's definitely people out there who've had very similar experiences that can learn from it, that you yourself can break from that generational issues and situations and circumstances. And for me, that story for me is a life testimony because we are so much more stronger for it. And even in the whole conversation with my dad and stuff like that, it took me a while to grow, to learn to love him because he's still my father. I still revere him. I still fear him. I still respect and love him. It just took me a long time to learn that and also go, he's still a man. He is only still a man that has his own walk with God that he needs to go through.
True.
And saying that as well, one of my mum's biggest problem was that she got a mouth on her too. My mum hit back too, because obviously it's about protecting her own self. But it's like, she became quite a person where, like, if there's a problem, she just decided to finally get her voice and say, because she got with my dad very, very young, very, very young. She had me at 21, so she was there learning about herself as well. Like, I think it's crazy, like.
But being someone that talks back or says things, it doesn't warrant violence.
No, never, ever, ever, ever. I'm not trying to say my mum deserved it. No, my mum never. Not trying to say that ever. But it's like, I love the fact that she was a strong personality and kind of took it. She didn't just take, like, every situation's different. Some people think like the woman that gets beat is scared and timid or stuff. There are areas of that, but you might also have a voice and say something back, and vice versa. If a woman hits a man, like maybe Bao was tired of it and just went, eh. Yeah. It's just sad that violence then goes on to violence. For me, I'm just leave it. You hit me. My brothers and my cousins might come mess you up. Sorry, God check me. My brothers and cousins might come mess you up quick time, but me, myself, I will just leave you. There's no conversation. There's no let's discuss it. There's no anything. I will just leave you. Unless God really says this is the person for you, I will leave you that day.
No, I completely don't. I don't condone it. Even my friend, when I did have that conversation, I was just like, what about the children? Because presumably children are going to be seeing this then if you think this is okay in your household. I don't know. It's just...
It's not fair to the children.
It's not fair to the kids
around
at all.
Disruption over time. And
it's just not
settled. When I was younger,
peaceful.
I used to always have clammy hands. Like, I used to always, like, suffer from clammy hands. Like, I was always on edge, always nervous. I've never been therapy, so I don't know if there's anything behind that. But
therapy, honestly.
Yeah, but there's something where I always felt nervous and always felt anxious and always felt scared. Like, I'm just always scared.
So do you think that... And I'm going back to, like, episode 2 or 3. Do you think that makes you, your attachment style, insecure?
Maybe.
Interesting.
Maybe. Yeah. God work with me in that area, please.
Oh, all of us go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting. But then that being said, on top of the Bow Wow stuff... I don't know, it's just like a week of craziness. Jesse Smollett.
Yeah.
How do you say his name? Smollett? Yeah. The guy from Empire. Amazing guy from Empire.
You're so beautiful.
He's so beautiful.
Get it?
But yeah, so obviously everyone knows he's gay. So he had a homophobic attack, like someone actually attacked him. And it's just
disgusting.
like, he was like, he released a video today. Or there was a video.
I saw that saying that he's stronger and he's fine. And, and he fought
back. I was like, yes,
saw that.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's just, the violence.
I mean,
I can't believe in 2019 that people are still doing this.
Obviously he's a celebrity, so he's out there, and apparently he had a threat like the week before or something like that. Like somebody sent him a threat about hitting him.
Why are you threatening someone about something they're doing in the comforts of their home? What has it got to do with you? I don't understand.
Hate is disgusting. Like the whole hate thing. I mean, I saw the video as well, and I was so thankful that he was like physically okay. But that he got the sign off to at least still be able to attend his show.
He was dancing and everything. It was nice.
I couldn't imagine being in a position where somebody like. I mean, we live in a world today where you might get discriminated because you're black, but no one can beat me. No one's physically beat me because I'm black.
Oh,
whereas I can't imagine being in a world where somebody might beat me because of my race or my sexual orientation or something like that, where I have to be fearful for my life. One thing, like, he's a celebrity, so like he's gonna get people acting at him and trying to find him and all that kind of stuff. But what that does to you mentally, that somebody physically trying to hit you or beat you up because of who you are, that was really sad to see.
Very sad. They haven't really shown. I'm not sure if they've caught the person. They've caught the person, but they haven't like released pictures yet. But yeah, it's just I fail to understand why. I'm so for liberation and people being who they are and doing. Listen, we've all been given free will to do and be who we are. I don't think anybody's in any position to criticize each other or judge. Just live your life, live your movie, like they say. Just do what's best for you. I just can't imagine seeing someone doing something that doesn't affect me or have any effect at all on what I'm doing, and I'm getting infuriated. Who put you in the seat of the judge? Please explain to me.
Amen to that one.
It's crazy.
My line is always like, "Who without sin cast the first stone?"
None of us can cast a single stone, so I don't see why anyone's doing that.
And I'm not trying to say I agree with lifestyle, I don't agree with lifestyle, but like, check your own actions, check your own self before. Everyone's got their own walk with their God or non-God, whatever that is, yeah. But what is your own? What is your business?
It's crazy.
What is your life? That's got nothing to do with you. And why do you have hate in your heart to go and then do something where you're gonna then go exert whatever authority you believe you have to then think you can physically pain somebody else? Like, be your own problem. Maybe that person themselves, they have their own things they're tackling with them and they don't want to be true to who they are. Like, that might be something going on. I'm telling you.
It's true, actually.
I'm like, but please don't go put that onto somebody else.
It's not fair at all.
I'm just very thankful that, obviously, I when I heard the news that he'd been beaten, I was like, oh, and they throw acid or something in his face or something.
What?
Or was it bleach? It might have been bleach. It wasn't acid, it was bleach. It was bleach.
Is that just both as bad?
It was bleach. And I was thinking like, whoa, what's happened? And I'm just seeing like obviously celebrities or wish they're well, like hoping well.
I don't like the whole celebrity thing as well. That pisses me off.
Why?
Something happens in the world, right? Let's go to Kim Kardashian and find out what she thinks. Nobody gives a fuck what Kim thinks. Can we just like?
No, but I like the celebrity support. So I was talking about more celebrity support, like the celebrities who all knew him, saying and wishing him well and all that.
No,
kind
fair
of
enough then. Yeah.
I maybe haven't been following it strong enough. I just looked at like the celebrities who were supporting him, who are obviously his friends.
But I feel like every time something happens, they start showing pictures of what the celebrities are tweeting. Who cares?
Oh yeah, I didn't care about that. I didn't even look at that. I didn't care. I just looked at more what people who classed him and that person as his friend.
Yeah.
Because
or like people on the set and stuff. Like
yeah. People who said that I personally know this man. He's an amazing guy. He's loving. He didn't deserve this. To see if there was any personal updates, be like he's holding up well, because when you only have like the news headline,
you don't
news
get the
headline
real story.
is still not even that personable. Whereas like seeing the people who care about him and celebrities have presence, so they're people that care about him. And I mean, I didn't look at that much. I looked at who's the guy, Lion, who
Terrence
Howard. I saw he put a message out. I saw some bits on the reel where Lonnie was like talking about like that's a good dear friend.
No, you're right actually. For this particular case, fair enough. I don't mind the celebrity stuff, but it's when like something happens in the world and then celebrities, or if a celebrity doesn't say something and they're like, oh, blah blah blah, they speak on this topic. You're like, ugh.
Like, what's your own business?
But yeah, it's very sad what happened.
I know this is old.
Yeah, go on.
But we record this every 2 weeks or whatever. The Fry Festival, we're talking about celebrities and celebrity influences and all that kind of stuff. And it's so interesting how like that's why people go out to celebrities to find out what they're saying and how the influence of celebrities and their models kind of drove this whole festival that went kind of like pants. Celebrity power is powerful, you know.
You're right actually, because if it wasn't for all the models that they kind of got to Instagram and show, it wouldn't be this huge sensation that it became. That's
true, but it's also because the guy was problematic. But it's interesting because the celebrityness of the models help push the influence. They paid
Kendall $250K, right, to post one, yeah.
Boy,
one post.
One day
can you imagine making that kind of money from Instagram?
Pay me just to do a post.
Can you imagine? No, you're right actually. Celebrities do have, of course, I think they have a reach and an audience and they can use it in a positive way. I do agree with that. But Fire Festival was very interesting. The guy really did finesse the whole thing.
Yeah.
What's sad about it, because I have this I am an entrepreneur, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not doing imposter syndrome. I'll say that's who I am.
Go, baby
But,
girl!
I can see this guy as someone who's really hungry to make money. And if he just learns, because he's really smart. Some of the ideas were the wristband to pay.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is so innovative. I love innovation.
Same.
And it's like, this guy has potential. I won't be surprised if he comes out of prison and becomes a billionaire. I will not be surprised.
Same.
But he needs to learn to follow the rules. Follow the rules, have a project planner. And also, like, understand that sometimes the answer will be no. He doesn't know how to, like, accept a no.
Yeah, it was funny because when I was watching, I know it's old, so apologies we're talking about it again, but when I was watching Fire Festival, I was looking at the guy and I was like, ooh, he kind of reminds me of my manager. But this was very early on in the first 20 minutes. Because that the manager has this big visionary idea. Don't care, like, whose personal opinions he upsets or that. This idea is quite out there thinking, don't know how physically going to do it, just got to go do it. Obviously, it's best to have a team that then looks into, like, okay, what's the method we go about it, research, cost, project planning and all that kind of stuff. Because I do believe that visionaries change the world.
They do.
They change the world. Like, if you look at the guy who created, Steve Jobs, who created Apple phones and all that kind of stuff, they change the way people think and they can make a big impact. And so they're necessary. I just think it's a bit funny that, like, who promotes something when the product ain't really there yet? That for me was a bit, I was just like, rah. And then when I believe that having a hustler spirit and wanting to get money is nothing wrong in that. It's good to kind of advance what you have and all that stuff. But he obviously did not care about nobody, because he's there stepping on people's toes. He's there taking money from these investors. They're taking people lying about, not telling them the truth. And I feel like when you love money that much, it's problematic. To the point you can ask a guy to go give head to somebody else and then actually thought about
That
it.
guy gave the headband. I'm so sorry.
I was like,
he was pretending. Did you hear what he was saying? He was like, what did he have to put mouthwash and all this stuff? I was like, mate, I did not believe what he was saying afterwards.
There's
like,
levels to this money game, you know. There's levels to the money game, and he obviously loved money that much. And I think it's a shame because, you know, I was thinking as well, everyone's been duped a little bit once in their life. My friend got me into this weird investment thing.
Oh gosh,
it's like
a thingy.
It was called
what is it called? Pyramid scheme? Or
it wasn't a pyramid scheme,
okay.
but it wasn't a pyramid scheme, but I guess people might see it as that. It was called Traffic Monsoon. I got paid, so I ain't even mad actually. I got paid, but it's where you buy adverts or something like that, and you it's compound interest. So you put a certain money in, by the 30th day you've gain like £5 extra, but if you put extra amount in, you can compound it more. So there was people who'd put £1,000 in, came out with £8,000 or something crazy like that. And because after I read like Rich Dad Poor Dad, I was constantly trying to look at ways to kind of like get money, and I really trusted my friend's opinion because they were in investment banking. I'm not that money savvy, so I thought, let me jump in this, let me like put a certain amount of money in and see what I can generate out of it, like going into it. And this guy has talks, meetings, all this stuff. So when I'd made back my money, I quickly took my money out and just kept in the interest of what I'd made and let that generate itself. So I quit money, make money. And then the thing went pants, and PayPal wasn't giving people back their money, and all this stuff was going on, and people were very, very pissed off. And then we looked to the history of the guy, and saw the guy had lots of different Ponzi schemes that kind of fell on its face, and all this stuff. And I went mad because I actually I didn't put mad money in like other people did. I just put in like enough money to hurt me a little bit, but made it back and made some money. And I thought to myself, I'm not mad at this guy. Like, I don't think he's duped me. He just did a system that doesn't work. Yeah. But crazy people change the world. For entrepreneurs, most entrepreneurs talk about how they've had 7 failed plans, and it was like one that made it. Like, unless you're failing, you're not winning.
There's a fine line between. No, I'm not gonna say that. That's not true.
What are you gonna say?
There's not a fine line between like entrepreneurs and like being a criminal, but the thirst for money.
Sometimes you're being something criminal.
There's the thirst to make money. You know what? Why do you want the money? That's the question.
Yeah.
I thought about it and I realised why I want the money, because I want financial freedom. I don't want to think about having to make money.
Financial freedom is
it's
the
a huge blessing.
Read up and take new risks. Sorry, isn't that
But yeah, like there are so many people out there who have that hustler spirit, who are visionaries, who really do think ahead. But the rules are there for a reason. The ethics is there for a reason, and you just have to learn. It's a game. Play the game properly,
and be fair to people.
And be fair.
When I heard about the woman who'd been feeding all these
50k,
and then she was out 50k, I was like, that's unfair.
I hope they set up a GoFundMe for her and like. She made the money back. I hope that happened. All right, guys. So it's time for Scratch Out, where we just kind of discuss things that just get us angry. I'm always introducing Scratch Out, because I always do the whole grrr thing.
Continue it.
But yeah, just things that have been annoying us, just pissing us off. My Scratch Out this week goes to... There's a story that came out about a baby that was left on a park bench.
Oh, I saw that.
I actually cried, I'm not going to lie.
I
It broke
saw
my
that.
heart. I was just
In
so
this
upset.
cold, snowy London.
It was like -1 that night and left on a park bench in a Sainsbury's bag with the placenta attached. That seriously broke my heart and upset me. I don't know this backstory. I don't know what happened that happened, but it was so upsetting that child she could have died. But thank God that those people found her and she's safe now.
I really pray for that child. I just like God just cover that child completely, because like I don't know, pray for the mother as well. Like the fact that she felt she could, like, I don't know how the child was separated from her, if she left the child or the child was actually physically separated from her. But yeah, that for me is beyond the Scratch Out. That's just, my heart breaks.
It was so sad, man. Babies are so innocent. They're angels. Like, I don't understand. But anyway, what's your Scratch Out?
Nothing like what you just said. My Scratch Out is when you're planning events and stuff like that, and you've agreed costs with people and you agreed deadlines for people to pay you, and they ain't paid you. So yeah, scratch them out, please, because I don't like chasing people for money.
It's so common though when you're
really
invoicing people.
I even do things like where like I'll give myself buffer time, and I'm like, it's just awkward because like I'm trying to run an event for people, and you have to pay me this certain day, and you're making me chase like I don't need your money. It's to do this event here. And yes, things like that are just irritating, because I'm so weird with money where like as soon as I have to pay someone, I just rather pay them before they ask me. And so I don't mind asking somebody once. I don't mind asking a second time, but third time just gets a bit awkward. So I'm just like, I'm a waiting game, but I'm now out of pocket.
It's weird because I feel such shame if you have to chase me up.
But
some people don't have shame.
Please have shame. People, please have shame.
Honestly. Yeah. All right, so quick plug. Kind of good news. Blanc Studios will be doing sponsorship for goodie bags for presentation for Fashion Week. So if you follow us, Blanc Studios, that's at Blanc Studios, BLANQUE, and then Studios on Instagram, we will show you the fun day of Fashion Week and just how it goes.
Excited.
But yeah, I believe that's the end of episode 7 of the Blank Canvas podcast. So quick reminder about our giveaway. We're giving away 2 cinema tickets. So if you would like to enter the giveaway, do enter. You can watch any movie. Please just send us, take a screenshot of your review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to us from, and then just send it to the blankcanvaspod@gmail.com. And we will pick the winner and announce on the 19th of February. So thank you all guys so much for listening. I'm Jennifer Noir.
And I've been Mina West.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.